it is a bit of a war that you're in. And sometimes it feels like that. It's not, there's just no easy way around it because you're giving care to someone else who can't care for themselves at all. So, how do you care for yourself when you're giving care to someone else at the same time? You can't. You can't do both at the same time. So, hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Adapted Life podcast with me, Julie Hasselberger. I'm happy to be back. Today is July 6th. It's Thursday. And yeah, I love July. You know, I was born in July. My birthday is in July. And there's just something about the green and the growth and just, you know, it is hot today. It's almost 90 degrees. It's humid, but it's beautiful in Connecticut when the summer is like really in full swing like it is today. So it makes me feel really joyful. I just enjoy it so much. You know, I like the mornings when I walk the dogs and everything's all dewy and the birds are all singing. It's so nice. So I wanted to talk today. Today's topic in the adapted life world is about health. And I mean your health, not the health of your child or your person you care for, but your health, my health. And I've been reminded of this lately because I re-injured my back, and it's been really frustrating because I had surgery 2 years ago, and something snapped in my back one day when I was doing some work, and, you know, back to sciatica. So it is super challenging to entertain a healthy and positive care routine for myself. I'm not sure if you can relate to this. I imagine some probably are like, yeah, I get it. With all the anxiety and stress, I am stretched like a worn elastic band after so many years. And sometimes I feel like I could just snap at any second. And I know that I need to do more because I can feel it, but I am constrained. I got something on my face there. Okay. Yeah, so example was this back injury. When I fell, I injured my back in about 2018, walking the dogs. I slipped, fell on the ice. It was awful. And I had apparently made a disc herniate slightly or something. But I found myself very vulnerable to this lower back pain and sciatic pain after always saying, I do so much and my back never hurts, you know. So resting appropriately, healing appropriately, and body mechanics, safe body mechanics, are basically impossible to consistently do because you're taking care of someone who needs to be rolled and turned and changed and transitioned and positioned. It's really impossible to be perfect in that regard. So eventually, I just couldn't get through the pain. I ended up having surgery. I had a lower L4, L5, what they call a lumbar discectomy. So after post-op, even, you know, I was feeling immediately better, but I needed to heal. And the nurse was out that week. And guess who couldn't really fully rest the way I was supposed to? You know, there were just some things I had to do if John wasn't here, and I couldn't not bend and not reach and not turn all the time. So I did the best that I could. So all of these things, you know, exercising, nutrition, your mental health, your physical health, your skin health, dermatology, right? All of that stuff, you know, the need for recharging via vacations and resting, day trips, activities, entertainment, social life, going to church, all of these things, you know, all of these things are not consistent because everything comes second to if Daniel's okay, if Daniel's feeling well, if Daniel has care. So all of this can only take place if I have provided care for Daniel or if I am taking Daniel with me, which isn't always easy to do either. Sorry, I'm a little tired. We just drove to North Haven, which is about an hour away. And I just got back a little while ago. Daniel had a a GI appointment at Yale. And I said, I'm going to get back. And I had just written this outline yesterday, and I really wanted to record because I can't record as often as I want to. So here I am. All right. So it's hot and I'm tired. So anyways, there is never just a sense of me just taking care of me, like I'm taking care of me. As a matter of fact, yesterday I called my doctor and I said, I got this pain. She says, come in tomorrow. We'll take care of you. And I was like, I can't because I got to go to North Haven. So sorry, I gotta. Okay, then Monday. So I have to put myself off a bit and just deal with the pain for another 4 days. So that's how it is, right? You're just always trying to live within that constraint of, it all has to fit in order to happen. Who suffers the most in the long run is you and your care, right? So you got to make a choice to put some effort to it, but there's always this understanding that, you know what, I might not make it to my doctor's appointment because he might be sick, or the nurse might call out sick, or something else might happen. So as you can imagine, truly relaxing is not something that I take lightly. My best moments in my recent history of being able to just breathe into it and just be me have been when I literally get on an airplane and fly to California to visit my daughter who lives out in Orange County. So once I'm in the air in that plane, and I know there's another 5-6 hours in the plane, I always have this like emotional feeling of panic, like, oh shoot, is everything going to be okay? And then it's replaced with, okay, Julie, just let it go. Get your book out, do some meditating, take a breath. Anyways, just have to trust that all is going to be taken care of and it will be under control. And it's kind of a like, no turning back now. So cherish this moment, this sabbatical that you are gifting to yourself so you can unplug from it for a bit. So that is very, very helpful. But going away is what makes it even easier to do that. And I know not everybody can like physically go away somewhere. So I am blessed that, we work on the planning well in advance because my daughter lives out there now. So I got to figure out a way to be there with her sometimes, it's too hard. Anyway, on the subject of my self-care, compassion, medical health, relationship health, happiness, security, that security, that overarching reality is that I have to keep pushing that mountain out of the way, right, to care for myself. That reality rides in my brainwaves. It is a part of my rhythm and my energy. And it's every single day, right? What do I need to do to make sure that can happen, or what has to be here? And, what do I need to do so that I can also do? There's no like, I woke up today, I have an open day and I'm just going to go to the dentist and then to meet a friend, or I don't have that in my life. I do not have that in my life. I do not have that independence of having complete control. And yeah, it sounds really awful, but I'm taking care of my son who I love desperately. And is it a choice? Well, yeah, I guess it is a choice. People say, I could provide him care such as through some other place like a facility, but that's not happening because I love him too much. So anyways, so do you know what I'm saying? Like there's this overarching like, okay, I feel motivated enough to know that I matter. I love myself enough to know that I need to care for myself. So, how can I take this little break or do this thing or, make it to my eye exam to order my new contacts? Like that's a big deal for me, like that kind of thing, right? So many people in my shoes, and me, of course, can find themselves easily giving into, just like letting yourself go, not exercising, not having regular doctor checkups, giving up on, your healthy eating habits because you're just too tired. I have always struggled with emotional eating. but there's just been time after time that I've missed my dental checkups, or I've missed um, my regular doctor's appointments. Got to reschedule it, and appointments are pushed out 3 or 4 months, and it's like, and then you got to wait longer. It's like because something else came up. Um, Appointments actually get missed more than they get attended, so it's a storm of inconsistency, and it's frustrating because you'd like to just get things done because you're at that point. When you're at the point where you're scheduling things and you want to go, it's actually disappointing because you mentally know you need to take care of yourself. So it happens. So I slid into my 50s, right? I was like, oh, my dog's chewing on my, hold on. Henry. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So I slid into my 50s, and I am 80 pounds overweight, and my fibromyalgia is almost crippling me at times. And I've had one back surgery, like I mentioned. And, a lot of this is just due to 20 years of stress and depression and poor body mechanics and, emotional eating and all of this anxiety. And yeah, you know, I was depressed for a very long time. So there's just been a lot of working through all of this. And I had extreme anxiety due to all these factors, and then just a year and a half ago, my mom died suddenly from a heart attack. And it was just really, really a lot. And I think my eyes opened up, right? I channeled my way somehow through prayer and through, of course, meditation, which I talk about all the time, to a deepening connection to inside of me, like my soul and my real sense of who Julie is, like the higher consciousness, right? I somehow began to connect with her, and she's like, yay, you're here, you're finally here, And once I began listening to my heart and listening to my intuition and doing the work to train on that and to focus on abundance and positivity, I knew I was getting it all wrong before. And so it doesn't happen overnight, but little changes, began to take place. So my intuition guided me really at first to really dive deep into meditating, and I created that morning ritual, and it's very reflective and peaceful, and it brings me to a spiritual place, and it helps me to just set intentions for the day and just be really connected with the positive energy flow, right? And checking my vibration and just whatever is happening in the environment around me, it can be lessened in terms of stress if I just take the morning to set the tone, and it is so, so powerful. It's probably the one thing in terms of self-care that I literally do every day. And I keep telling myself, I can literally do that every day. I make that happen. And it's, of course, when Daniel's asleep, so he's sound asleep. So, that's when I get up extra early for that purpose. But yeah, so I'm just really, really proud that I developed that routine. And the more that I meditate, the more I feel my anxiety just peels off like dead skin. So I apply the concepts that I am learning all the time and that they teach me through the courses. Hold on. No. No. From the courses that I take, sorry, my dog, they're quiet today, but he's being naughty. Okay, where was I? I was talking about meditating. Okay, so I began to read more books about positivity and about peace and living from a heart-centered life and just abundance and persevering and resilience and healing and channeling, whatever, all these different things, right? Just different ways to bring peace and reflection and meditation and stillness into my life. And I just really, really started to really love and believe in myself, probably for the first time in my adult life. And outside of all of the circumstances and the challenges and the noise and the pressures that wear on me mentally and physically, wear me down to like poor health and pain, I finally saw that it was like okay to just be still and just be me. Like just be still. Nothing else matters except for being still in the moment and the breath. Like it's incredible. It's not easy to do. It's like that's the thing about meditation is it sounds like an easy thing, like a like that's it. But I don't know about you, but it takes a lot of work to learn how to let the thoughts go. Like you don't just clear your mind. There are always thoughts, but being able to kind of control them and like not let them get into your piece is that's like training. You got to work on it. I had to work on it anyway. I'm getting pretty good at it now, but so it doesn't mean that my health challenges have disappeared. I am still overweight. I'm still dealing with fibromyalgia, probably always will. I am mentally challenged from a history of depression, from which I think I'll always need help with because the depression is tied to the fibro. But my physical body also has the physical pain aspect, so it's kind of crazy. And now I'm 2 years post-op from my surgery, and the day that I hurt my back again was the day that my father-in-law died. That was on May 19th. I think that I just had this like psychological implosion or something because I was a wreck that day, and I bent over to clean something. I think I was wiping off something that spilled, and I felt my back snap. And then ever since then, I've had this increasing pain in my right side down my legs, down my leg. But anyway, we're going to address it. I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to get physical therapy and see what they say. And you know what? I'm not going to be hopeless about it because I think as long as I keep focusing on all positive things that I'm already doing, it's 10 steps further than I was 3 years ago when this started happening or whatever. There's just times, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever been in a situation where you really know that you need to lay down, but you just can't because Daniel needs to be changed or needs to be transferred or needs to be repositioned. Maybe he needs a breathing treatment or I have to get his meds in, or we definitely have to go to his doctor's appointments and things like that. So I know I have like an hour in the van. I gotta drive. There's just a lot of those times. And so that's where it gets hard because you know that it's bad for you. Like your physical body is telling you what you need, but your caregiving body and your caregiving mentality is like, no, I can't do that now. I have to wait. So it's really hard. And all aspects of health are affected by the fact that you come second. Unless you have somebody unless my husband's around or he's not working or there's something, it's just the way it is. And I know this, and yet how do you work around that? Like, yeah, get more help. Well, that's always what I'm working on because again, my son does not have the amount of nursing he's supposed to have. He's supposed to have 102 hours a week and he only gets 40 something if we're lucky. So yeah, but that's another whole, that's a nursing, Medicaid nursing care. It's, yeah. Anyway, so truth be told, the more that I love myself and care for myself and my heart, the better I feel towards finding ways to get stronger and vibrant. And it helps me to handle those moments where I have to push through, because if you're pushing yourself and you know you're pushing yourself, it's a lot healthier to do that when your mindset is positive and you don't feel anxiety ripping you apart. You're not like stressed and frustrated and angry. You just kind of try to stay calm and work it through, and just keep telling yourself, all right, in 5 minutes, I'm going to sit down. And even though it's 5 minutes, I'm going to take a break. I'll be okay. It is a bit of a war that you're in. And sometimes it feels like that. It's not, there's just no easy way around it, because you're giving care to someone else who can't care for themselves at all. So how do you care for yourself when you're giving care to someone else at the same time? You can't. You can't do both at the same time. So, I mean, unless you're out for a walk or, doing things like that. Like when we do that too, we, go for activities where everyone benefits, go swimming and that kind of thing. But so yeah, the health journey is really challenging. And, caregiving is so much more than what it sounds like to the outside world. Caregiver, someone who provides care and love and, nurturing and like, all of the things that a human body needs and whatever. But for us parents like me, or someone in a similar situation, it's a lifetime. It is a lifetime that we have devoted ourselves to providing this world for our disabled child who will never be able to do it for himself or herself. It is layered with all kinds of crazy complexities, and you're intertwined, you and your loved one. You're part of each other, because that pull and push is just part of the rhythm. He needs something, and then I get him settled, and then I need something, and then I come back, and then he needs something, and I need something. And it's just so much more than what it sounds like. So I know that it's really hard, and yet if there's a light, it can be found from really focusing on doing whatever you can to connect with yourself and what you need, because your needs are very, very important. And, you just have to work on that self-love. That's like one of the biggest things that I keep telling people, because we get lost so easily, especially when the kids are little, I think, as mine got older, there was a little more time for me. When they were really little, boy, is that hard. It is so hard. And you don't really know that you're losing yourself sometimes, but you need to take a pause, if you can find one, just to like breathe and see if you can connect with yourself. I keep doing this David G meditation, and he's just like, ask yourself, ask your soul, who am I? And just really, really focus on you and listen to your intuition, because your intuition will tell you what you need. It really will, as soon as you actually start listening. Like I never used to listen to I used to be all cuckoo nuts, The other thing, in addition to working on self-love, whatever that looks like for you, is to get a therapist. And I can't say enough how much therapy has helped me to walk this walk and make it through. I'd have a therapy session every single week, every Wednesday at noon, and it is just the best self-care I think that I could do sometimes when I can't do anything else, because thank you COVID, we now have ample telehealth appointments, and I can get on a video, even if I'm caring for Daniel, and find time, if he's resting or watching TV, to have my session. And sometimes I go over there to the office, which is good too if I can get away. But yeah, it's like my out of the house time. Therapy. But I love my therapist. She's wonderful, and she's just very, very supportive. And it's important to have a non-judgmental person to just really bounce things off of. It just really is helpful. And the other thing is just really, really try to get to your regular doctor about your own health goals and setting realistic health goals. For me, weight loss has always been difficult, and I finally started seeing my doctor, who treats me for the fibro, and I said, I'm just so frustrated. And so she's helping me with some strategies for how to work with my metabolism and my health conditions to try to help the weight loss. And then I'm being held accountable. So that's helpful. So I go back and, weigh in and that kind of thing. I don't know. I just think putting positive focus on it has really helped me a little bit. And the other piece of advice is to have some fun. Try to have some fun, like whatever that looks like. Um, it just really helps. Watch a funny movie. Just ask yourself, like, because I have times where I'm like, I can't remember the last time I laughed. I haven't laughed, like belly laughed hard, in a really long time. And then I find myself like with my daughter or something will come up, and then I like lose it because I haven't laughed in so long. So it's like, and I just can't stop laughing, right? Um, it just makes you feel better. And if you want, you can look up like laughing meditations, because there are people out there who do guided meditations using laughter, and it's really funny how powerful it is. With you just keep making yourself laugh, and then you start laughing at yourself, and then afterwards, whatever stress you were feeling just feels lighter, and you feel happier. It's a weird kind of medicine. Is what it is. It's just incredible. And another suggestion is to find a tribe. You know, find a tribe of people who get it, who understand, who can kind of walk side by side with you, not literally, but in your experiences. I know that in my immediate life, I don't have anyone in my family or friend group who has anything near what I'm going through. And sometimes that makes you feel kind of alone, and like nobody really gets it, that you can't go to that girls' weekend, and why, and how hard it is for you to do that. But I do have a couple of friends now, local and from my support group, which is on Facebook. It's called the Polymicrogyria support group. It's just for families dealing with this illness for their child. And I have some moms on there that I'm very close to. And then also some people local, and through my church and through some local groups. Not a lot of people, just a handful, but they mean a lot to me. I know if anything came up and I could call, it's somebody else who's taking care of somebody else who could be like, hey, I totally get you. Just most of all, friends out there, just reach deep inside your heart and just trust what it will reveal to you in this journey. I'm still working on the take care of myself bit, because I know that I want to live a long, healthy life. I'm turning 57, and I don't feel that. I don't feel like I'm that old, but my daughter's having a baby. She's expecting, and she's having a baby in December, and I want to be, healthy and vibrant so that I can spend a beautiful life together, enjoying my family. So yeah, that's really exciting news. And I want to be a Nana that is around, and able to participate. And it's California, yeah, so it's a little tricky, but I don't care. I think anything can happen. Look how far I've come already doing what I've done. So yeah, what's that distance? It's not really that much. I enjoy being on the plane. It gives me my sabbatical from my stress. So maybe that's why it is what it is, right? I don't know. But that's all for today that I wanted to share with you. I am sending you the deepest compassion and empathy from my place here in my own adapted and very challenging life. Just remember that you are amazing, and the universe needs you, and your loved one needs you. But even more than that, the ripple effect of what you're doing. You probably don't look at it that way, because I know that I most of the time don't think of them pretty much like, I'm so tired. But the ripple effect is pretty amazing. And, I don't know what I'm saying. Just thank you. Thank you for adapting and taking this journey. And thank you. Thank me. Thank us. Thank the world. I don't know. I'm being a little happy today. Because I can't move because my back hurts, because it's burning down my legs. So I'm just sitting in my chair sweating. So anyways, sending all that love, and I hope to be back soon with some new topics, things to talk about, just to kind of throw it around and see how you're doing in your adapted life too. So if you can find a way to get to me and send me a comment, I would love it. And my social media links, I think, are in the description page for the podcast and for the episode. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. If you're at the end of this, I'm so grateful. All right, bye now.